Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you might be listening to this podcast from. My name is Arise Michael Godfrey, and I want to welcome you specially to the weekly podcast on the keys and the laws of academic excellence. Well, I've always maintained that the differences between two students, right, is not their grades, not their CGPA or their GPA, or generally speaking, their academic performance. The key difference between two or more students, all right, lies in their understanding of the keys and the laws of academic excellence. All right, so this is why um, any student who is ignorant of the keys and the laws of academic excellence will continue to experience what I would call a rising and a falling academic performance. All right, and if a student understands the keys and the laws of academic excellence, all right, such a student will continue to maintain a consistent, excellent academic performance. All right, so this is the reason why I've dedicated this podcast to teaching the keys and the laws of academic excellence to you, and of course, by extension, to the rest of the global student community. All right, so you can have a perfect understanding of these keys, all right, and these laws of academic excellence. Having had a perfect understanding, you can begin to apply them, all right, and as you do, you're definitely sure of seeing some transformational changes with regards to your academic performance. Well, last month I started out a very important, very interesting section, all right, talking about the law of process, all right, and I did tell you that the law of process is one of the foundational laws, all right, of academic excellence that gives you more than an idea of what is expected of you if you must become an excellent student. All right, because like I will always say, academic excellence is a process, nothing more and nothing less. All right. In our last section, I took the time to break down the law of process. All right. And I did with 3 points. Firstly, I said the process delivers your academic desires. What that means is that if you have an academic goal, all right, or you have an academic desire, all right, for an excellent performance, you must understand the steps you need to take in order to achieve your academic desire. So this is very key. This is very foundational. All right, understanding that the law of process can, of course, deliver your academic desires to you. All right. And secondly, the law of process matures you for consistent, excellent performance. A lot of time I see some students, all right, who, of course, their academic performance continues to rise and then falls and then rise and then falls. All right. Once more, it rises and it falls. All right. That experience can be likened to a student who is yet to really understand the law of process. Because if you do, there's one mark the whole of process will leave in you. It will mature you for excellent performance. All right. It will mature you for consistent, excellent performance. All right. Not just delivering your academic performance, all right, but it matures you for that very process. All right. So I make a comparison. All right. For example, a student who understands that the law of process insists that you don't boycott any of the steps you must take in order to achieve academic excellence. Now, that very knowing or that very understanding help the student to ensure that he practices or maintains those steps, and as he continues to maintain those steps, right, I love to describe those steps as the rung on the ladder. You can check out my video, all right, you can check out a video on YouTube, all right, where I did an illustration using a ladder, all right, teaching about the ladder of academic excellence. So you found a student who is consistently, all right, taking a step on the rung of the ladder, not missing any of those steps, all right, not trying to jump any of those steps, you will find out that that student will inherently be matured for excellent performance. All right, so it doesn't, regardless of his course of study, regardless of his department, all right, regardless of his individual course, regardless of the peculiarities of his lecturers, all right, or their differences in marking scheme and the others, all right, regardless of whatever might be different or what might be constant, such a student has developed inwards that very, very maturity needed to achieve excellent performance consistently. I think I can relate with this even more because, from my 300 level down to my 400 level, right, it became a very, very interesting time. How do I mean? Having understood the laws and the keys of academic excellence, all right, and having consistently, you know, take the steps on the rung of the ladder of academic excellence, it became used to me over time. All right, so I just know what to do per course. I know what's key to apply per course. I already understand, okay, this is what I need to do differently from what I did last time. All right, I knew how to evaluate my previous performance as against my current expectations. Do you understand what I'm saying here? All right, so it's very, very important. And if you go further, the law of process validates your academic performance. It validates your academic performance. In the last session, I can still remember very clearly, all right, how that I began to help you understand that, a graduate who is seeking for an employment in a reputable organization, all right, is invited for an interview, all right, he attends the interview, and while he's attending the interview, you know, the organization or the HR begins to ask certain questions. For example, are you a graduate? Right? He responds, yeah, I'm a graduate, presents his documents and other related documentation just to prove that, of course, yeah, I'm a graduate. And all of this process is checked, all right? And yet the organization won't give him the job on the basis of his documentation or on the basis of, his, affirmations, is okay, yeah, I'm a graduate. They go a step further by conducting an an entry-based test or all sort of entry-based test for that very candidate who, of course, is a graduate. But yet, they need him to validate that, okay, yes, of course, you're a graduate. So we're going to give you this entry test to validate your claims of being a graduate. Do you understand? Now, those tests, is being administered to this candidate. And if the candidate fails below average, all right, if he fails below average, it's already a disclaimer that this performance you graduated with, although seems true on paper, but might not be a reality. Although you might have graduated with a first class, so class upper or whatever you might want to call that, all right, but yet you can't pass this interview, then there's a question mark. It then means you played gimmicks while you're in school, or you bought your grades, or it was manipulated, or whatever. We can't really tell what it is, all right, but this job is only meant for people who get scaled through the interview, all right, and such a candidate might not be qualified at the end of the day if you face the interview. This is just to help you understand that if you follow the law of process, it will do one thing for you. It will validate that very performance. In other words, it gives you the capacity to defend your grades morning, day, afternoon, and night. Like for someone like me, all right, of course, I don't like using myself as an example, but you just have to bear with me, all right? And I'll try my best to bring in other example through the stories of other students, all right? But one thing I've enjoyed about the law process is really the ability to defend my performance. So somebody meet me and say, "Oh, Arise, you're a graduate of National State University." I say, "Yes, that's true." Okay. Oh, you read history and education. So you're a trained educationist. Yes, of course, that's true. Okay. Can you walk me through the process of learning? All right. Can you walk me through the process of, the different learners we might have? All right. Teaching methodologies and the rest of that. I mean, things or concept related to education. I should be able to tell that fellow, guide that fellow to a sufficient level with regards to his question. So I should be able to provide questions that provides clarity to whatever misconception he might be having. All right. Now, I don't need to know it in its entirety. I don't need to have 100% knowledge on it, but I can give that very fellow sufficient knowledge. Why can I do so? I can because, of course, I let the law of process take form in me. All right. And as it did, I was able to, grow in the capacity of defending my performance. All right, and this is really unusual with many students, right? You know why? I do believe students has this mindset to say all we need to do is just pass the exams. If we can pass the exams, then we are an excellent student. No, this is why my conception of who an excellent student is usually very, very different. Because, of course, if I'm going to judge you by your grades on paper, I might be doing something very wrong. All right. This is why, again, I bring to your remembrance that I always maintain that excellence, all right, why I always maintain that differences between two students can never be on their GPA, never be on the CGPA. There's something a student should know beyond his CGPA. There's something a student should know beyond his GPA. There's something a student should know, should do beyond his general academic performance. All right, this is where I take it up from here and I tell you about life in university. That haven't gone through university, there's certain things you should know. All right. Example, you should know that education is for enlightenment, not just for attaining a job position. All right. And you should know that life university is a gift, and the first gift it presents to you and to every other student is the gift of solving problems and creating solutions. Do you understand? So I am more based on the student's mindset than his performance. Why? If the student has a right mindset, he will always replicate an excellent academic performance. But if he doesn't have a right mindset, he might have an excellent performance that he can't defend or cannot be validated. Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's just so beautiful as I begin to share this once more, just so beautiful. Well. Today we're going to take it a little bit further. I'm going to be talking about how you can now activate the law of process. Having understood that the law of process is one of those foundational laws a student must, acquaint himself with regards to academic excellence, right? And you now know that okay, this law, of course, can help validate your academic performance, all right, can help deliver your academic desires, all right, and the rest of that it shows you what to do, right, what not to do, what step to take, what step not to take, and the rest of that. How then can you activate the law process into your academics? And this is what I want to share with you today. All right, so the first step in activating the law process in your academics is to identify the price for achieving academic excellence, and I can assure you that there's a price to pay. All right, there's always a price to pay. You take, for instance, you want to be successful in fields like um, the medical world, right, or the science world, the insurance world, the banking world, agricultural world, security world, financial world, or whatever sector you might be finding yourself after school. There's always going to be a price to pay for you to be successful in that very field. Always going to be a price to pay. Now, it doesn't differ so much from achieving academic excellence. You need to firstly identify the price you need to pay in order to achieve academic excellence. And now this is where it becomes very interesting. Just before I share that to you, long time ago, American author and historian Harry Brown gave an advice to young folks, all right, aspiring to be successful without wanting to play a role in being successful. He said, "There's a price to pay, or there's a price connected to everything in life. All right. There's a price to pay if you want to make things better. There's a price to pay if you want to leave things the way they are. And there's a price to pay for everything. All right. In other words, if you want to be successful, there's a price to pay. You want to be a failure, there's a price to pay. All right. There's a price to pay. All right. You want to make things beautiful, there's a price to pay. You want to leave things ugly as they are, there's a price to pay. You want to make things better, there's a price to pay. You don't want to make things better, there's a price to pay. There's always a price connected to everything in life. All right. And no doubt this advice is still relevant to this day, all right, as it's very, very integral to achieving academic excellence. Now, the prices to pay. The prices to pay, all right, you don't need to identify them so much because I've helped you. All right, the things we've been doing from day one of this very podcast are some of the ways or some of the keys or the steps you already know that, okay, these are the steps I must take, these are the price I must take or I must pay, all right, in achieving academic excellence. You talk about the seven keys, all right, the seven keys of becoming an seven untold secret of becoming an A student, right? Talking about the right mindset. That is a price to pay. You have to pay the price of developing the right mindset. You have to pay the price of neglecting, the pessimistic mindset, all right, that always tells you, you can't do it. You can't do it. This course is just too hard enough. You have to get rid of the failure mindset that tells you, this course is just so difficult. I'm just going to end up failing it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to get rid of, the average mindset that says, I'm just fine with a C grade. I'm fine with a D grade. I don't really like. I'm not particularly concerned with an A grade or B grade. Do you get what I'm saying here? All right. So you have to do away with all of this mindset. That's a price to pay. When you grow beyond that and you begin to identify, or you begin to set academic excellence goal per semester, per section, you're paying a price. And mind you, the reason why all the students you have in your department will never be excellent at the academics is because these prizes must be paid, and many people will not pay the price. All right, like in my famous one of my famous quote by John C. Maxwell, he says, you either pay now or play later, or play now and pay later. Regardless of which you want to do, you're gonna pay. So you either choose to pay now so you can play later, or you play now and you pay later, right? But you can't take paying the price of the equation. So if you start by playing now, you have to be reminded that after you're done playing, you're going to pay the price. And if you leave playing aside and you pay your dues now, having paid your dues, you begin to reap the dividends of paying that very due. All right. So, in my opinion, I want you to pay now and play later. All right, pay now and play later. So, all right. So when you're done developing the developing your goals, right, you move to the right association. This is one of the many better prices you have to pay as an excellent student. You just have to pay the price. You have to pay the price of going beyond yourself, developing relationship that will affect your academic performance in a definite and of course in a practical way, significantly contributing to your academic performance. Do you understand what I'm saying here? All right. So you move from that, you move into, the price where you have to understand the relationship between what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, and your academic performance. All right. So you don't end up eating like a glutton. That's a price to pay. You have to limit what you eat. You have to watch what you eat. You have to also watch when you eat. That's a price to pay. A very difficult price for someone like Arise Michael Godfrey. I assure you, this is a constant reminder I always have to give to myself that Arise, you're not a gluten. Eat for the now, don't eat for later. You understand what I'm saying? All right, because I'm a foodie. All right, of course, being a foodie, what that means, like I've always explained, and of course, that's going to be our next podcast with regards to the keys and the laws of academic excellence. All right, I'm a foodie. So what that means is that I don't eat for satisfaction alone. I move beyond the corridors of satisfaction. I eat based on my feelings. So, what I mean based on my feelings, if I'm happy, I'm eating. I'm angry, I'm eating. I'm not angry, I'm eating. I'm bored, I'm eating. I'm not bored, I'm eating. You know, I was speaking to some group of students and they found it very hilarious. You break my heart, I'm eating. I break your heart, I'm eating. Do you get? So nothing really stops me from enjoying my food. Now that can be a very big challenge for me, right? Because having overfed, I experience the 3 Ds, like I always say, all right, dizziness, distraction, and divided attention. Now I have to pay the price, all right, I have to pay the price to let food go so I can focus on my academics. Do you understand? So there are several prices to pay. Talk about the price of your continuous assessment. Sharing with my people at Life University, and I told them about a student who somehow had a GPA of 5.0, and while we dissected this very performance, we found that the magic happened with his continuous assessment. All right. He never had an exam score greater or higher than 55. All right. And all of his continuous assessment score were beyond 20. What that shows is that that student has recognized the price to pay for his continuous assessment. And as he went on paying that prices, all right, he developed and began to attract excellent academic performance. Do you understand now? So the first thing you want to do is to identify your priorities, and as you do, you begin to, of course, apply and you begin to experience excellent performance. All right. The second is to pay the price for achieving academic excellence daily, meaning you climb the ladder one step at a time. And now, see, when it comes to academic excellence, like I've always maintained, it's a process. Many times I get to see students who didn't pay their dues, all right, or maybe I should put it this way so you can relate more, who played during their 100 level, their 200 level, and their 300 level, and now they want to pay the price in their 400 level. And they are so anxious, they are so eager, they are so optimistic. Find any of the word you can find there, it will do. But regardless, you can't make do for wasting 3 years playing, and now you want to pay all of the prices in your funding level. It will be very, very devastating, right? It will put you under pressure you don't want to take. You're not built for. Do you understand? Because you're expected to pay, you're expected to have paid that very price from your 100 level to your 200 level down to your 400 level, right? But you neglected all of that, and you're trying to pay all of the price in 400 level. Now, such a student haven't been overwhelmed by the complexity involved, all right, or the process involved, is frustrated and begins to tell you this thing doesn't work. All right, these laws you're teaching me doesn't work. These keys you're teaching me doesn't work. How do you want it to work? I hope you know the keys and the laws I teach or I take my time to teach are not laws or keys that will give you an immediate result. Those are strategies, right? I was speaking to a friend the other day and he said, there's a difference between I don't give strategies. I can give you the responsibility of developing strategies. All right. What I need to teach you is the keys and the laws. If I teach you the keys and the laws, you can develop strategies peculiar to your course of study, strategies peculiar to your own understanding, strategies peculiar to your lectures and your departments and like, all right? But if I focus on teaching you strategy, you need to understand that strategies are short term. Strategy has a very short lifespan. Strategy differ from courses to courses, differ from course of study to course of study, differ from lecturers to lecturers. For example, differs from personality, differ from individual to individual. For example, I invited Adaj Berry, all right, the first class student in microbiology, National State University, during our last conference in Life University, right? Our last conference last year, 2024. And when we had a very beautiful discussion, all right, I began to, be interviewed. She was interviewed by, Toastmaster Sir Daniel Kassim, right? And one of the questions he asked was, tell us how you study. And Mr. Daju said she studies 6 hours, an interval of 2 hours daily, right? She studies 6 hours daily, an interval of 2 hours. Now that's a strategy that works for Mary. But why does that strategy work? That strategy works because she understands the law of consistent action. That reading 6 hours daily already tells you that this lady understands the law of consistent action. That the average student will do once a while what excellent students will do every day. So average students will do someday what excellent students will do every day. And what excellent students will do every day, average students will do someday. Do you understand? Now, understanding that very law of consistent action tells you that this lady has been able to pattern a strategy that works for her by saying, okay, I'm going to follow the law of consistent action, all right, by developing a reading plan that help me read consistently. Now that works for her. If I throw that to you as a strategy and tell you if you want to make a first class, you have to read 6 hours, that might not work for you. That might not even work for me. Why? That strategy is personal based, it's individual based, right? But you can have a right understanding of the keys and the laws with regards to consistency, and you can develop something unique that works for you. So maybe yours might just be to see videos about around your course of study every day. And once you do, or the more you do, all right, you develop an unusual understanding for your course of study. Now, this is what I needed to understand. Strategy might get the job done today, might not get the job done tomorrow. This is why you have to let go of short-term strategies and you have to imbibe yourself wholeheartedly, into the keys and the laws of academic excellence. So you have to pay the price for achieving academic excellence daily. It's a daily process, guy. Academic excellence is a process. It doesn't develop in a day. It happens daily. It happens daily. So you're building upon whatever you're doing. All right. And this is why you don't decide your academic performance tomorrow. You decide your academic performance today by the very action you're taking. So a student who said, I want to be an excellent student, and all you keep doing every day, you sleep. You say, no, the timetable is not out yet. You sleep. The timetable is not out yet. You sleep. Where's the place for creating a personal timetable? Do you have to necessarily wait for your department to release a timetable before you form your study timetable? No, you don't have to. Why? Academic excellence is a process, and you have to do what you need to do daily. You have to apply the law daily. You have to apply the steps daily. You have to, pay the price for achieving academic excellence daily. All right. It's a daily process, not, a one off. All right. And as you do, of course, you begin to experience a very, very, very beautiful um, changes with regards to your academic performance. Let me give you one more. All right. So, as you pay the price, the third says how to activate the love process, right? As you pay the price for achieving academic excellence, there's something you need to do. You need to believe in the process. You need to believe in the process. There's one thing to actually apply the keys and laws of academic excellence. It's another thing to believe that the laws and the keys you're applying would work. All right. And of course, I've told you once and again that these laws are irrefutable. They will work regardless of where you're from, regardless of your institution, regardless of your geographical location. This law transcend geographical location, transcend the differences in course of study, all right, and the rest of that. All right. It's timeless. It will always work. All right. And now you have an assignment, you have a responsibility to believe in that very process. This is why I teach about, the law of the positive ground. Because at the end of the day, when you're done applying the laws, all right, you must stay on the positive ground. If you don't stay on the positive ground, you're likely to achieve academic excellence, but um it might not be consistent because of course you attract these excellent grades by what you do, but more than what you do, you're attracted by what you're thinking. All right, so I have a very beautiful book project coming up, within the year, this 2025, on how excellent students think. And that book is just dedicated to helping you understand the different way an average student will think as compared to an excellent student. And when you do the work correctly, you understand that excellent students, excellent grades, excellent performance starts from the mind, right? A student has to see that, oh, I'm an excellent student from the mind, not from the grade, right? A student has to have the perception of him being an excellent student with excellent grades, all right, with an excellent CGPA, excellent GPA, excellent class of honor, all right, to translate to academic excellence. It's just so beautiful. So you have to believe consistently in the price are you're paying. So I'm going to give you what I call some take homes, all right, from the laws, some take homes from the laws. So I said academic excellence is a process, nothing more, nothing less. All right, average students walk past it, right? Meaning average student walk past the law of the process, all right, and excellent student go right through it. Of course, that's what makes them excellent. The ability to go right through the law of process makes them excellent. Of course, remember it develops them, right? Delivers the academic desire, validates the academic performance, matures them for academic excellence, all right, or for consistent academic excellence. So Catherine had the potential of achieving academic excellence, but she died as an average student. All right, she had the potential, but of course she couldn't reach, that very potential, because she had to boycott the process. For each step you take on the ladder, there's a mastery level you unlock. That's so beautiful. For each step you take on the rung of the ladder of academic excellence, there's a mastery level you unlock. So if you're someone who is so, so, so focused on setting academic goals, as you continue to set academic goals, you are unlocking, your ability for academic excellence. Do you understand? Okay, right. So paying the price for achieving academic excellence is a daily process, like I've just helped you understand. They say you can't pay all the price required for academic excellence in a day, but you can daily. So the prices for academic excellence might be overwhelming if you try to pay them in a day. All right, it might appear too cumbersome. All right, but when you break that down and you apply them, daily, it becomes so beautiful, seamless, and so easy to do. All right, you see, the process delivers your desired academic performance. That's true. All right, if you subscribe to the process or the love the process, it will deliver your academic desires. I'm yet to students who apply the love process and yet doesn't have a commensurate academic excellence performance for a return, right? So the process validates your academic performance. Of course, it does, right? And the process matures you for consistent academic performance. So it's a wrap on the law of the process. It's been 4 beautiful weeks, right? Teaching the law of process, and it's so beautiful. I did enjoy my time. How about you? Did you? All right. If you did, I would love you to share with me on the comment section. Write to me. All right, you can write to me on WhatsApp 070 all right, or the number you can see on your screen, right? I take that again, 070 all right. The dialing code is +234. All right, you can also write to me through Gmail, all right, at arisegodfrey@gmail.com. All right, or you can get the recorded versions on Spotify, LinkedIn, YouTube, Telegram, Facebook, AudioMac, and the rest of those very platforms. All right, so I'm very sure you might have questions around the law process. If you do, reach out to me on any of these platforms and I'll be willing to write back to you or answer all of your questions. All right, so until next week, Thursday. All right. I want you to have a very beautiful day and have a very beautiful time applying the law of process. The podcast on the keys and the laws of academic excellence continues next week. However, tomorrow I'm going to be continuing our series on life in the university, all right? And we're still talking about the gifts of exposure and discipline. So I don't want you to miss, key in the same time, and you're going to be enjoying the show. All right, see you next time and have a very blessed day ahead. Thank you.